Imagine a world shrouded in flickering candlelight, where power was absolute and betrayal often whispered on the wind. In the annals of history, few tales grip us quite like those of secret societies, hidden motives, and the chilling silence of a killer operating in plain sight. But what if a murderer, consumed by a need to confess, left a trail of breadcrumbs so ingenious, so utterly brazen, that it remained hidden for centuries? Tonight, we delve into the dark heart of the Middle Ages, exploring the legend of a poisoner whose most damning confession wasn't scrawled on parchment, but meticulously woven into the very fabric of her deadliest art, a medieval cookbook. Prepare to unlock a culinary conspiracy where every ingredient holds a secret and every recipe a silent confession. The medieval world was a volatile tapestry of feuding nobles, ambitious clergy, and brutal power struggles. Life was cheap, and justice often swift and merciless. Yet, beneath the clang of swords and the roar of battle, a more insidious weapon often thrived: poison. In an era devoid of modern forensics, a carefully administered toxin could mimic natural illness, leaving victims to waste away, their deaths attributed to the will of God or a sudden affliction. The anonymity and effectiveness of this method made it a favored tool for those seeking to remove rivals, secure inheritances, or simply exact revenge. It was a weapon wielded not by brute force, but by cunning and a chilling intimacy. From a humble apothecary's shop to the secretive chambers of alchemists, knowledge of potent substances was both feared and sought after. Arsenic, known as inheritance powder for its colorless, tasteless nature when mixed with food, was a common choice. Hemlock, belladonna, and foxglove were also readily available, their lethal properties understood, even if their mechanisms were not. The poisoner wasn't necessarily a madman, but often someone with access, knowledge, and a calm demeanor, perhaps a trusted herbalist, a cunning physician, or, most terrifyingly, a member of the household staff, or even the lady of the manor herself, skilled in the culinary arts. Our story centers on Lady Isabelle, a fictional yet plausible noblewoman of the early 14th century, celebrated for her exquisite culinary skills. Her kitchen was a bustling hub, her dishes legendary throughout the region. But beneath the surface of her domestic artistry lay a profound ambition and a simmering resentment. Married into a powerful but decaying noble house, Isabelle felt trapped, her intellect stifled, her future uncertain. The meticulousness required for gourmet cooking, the precise measurements and careful preparations, found a dark parallel in another, more sinister craft she had begun to master. Isabelle's motive was a potent cocktail of ambition and despair. Her husband, Lord Alaric, was a man of fading power and growing debts. His distant cousin, a prosperous baron, stood to inherit much of their land if Alaric failed to produce a male heir or resolve his financial woes. Isabelle saw a different path. By eliminating key figures, she could subtly manipulate the line of succession, consolidate power, and secure her own future and that of her children in a world that offered women few avenues for control. Her kitchen, typically a place of warmth and sustenance, became a clandestine laboratory for her deadly aspirations. The perfect crime demands the perfect delivery system. For Lady Isabelle, her culinary expertise was her greatest asset. What better way to deliver a slow-acting poison than within a lavish feast, a rich stew, or a fragrant wine? Her victims, often guests or family members, would commend her delicious creations, unaware that each bite brought them closer to their demise. The poison was administered in small, undetectable doses over weeks, even months, mimicking a lingering illness, a wasting sickness common in the era. Who would suspect the gracious hostess, the master chef, of such a heinous act? One by one, those who stood in Isabelle's way fell. Ill, first Lord Alaric's ailing uncle, then a distant cousin, and finally, even Alaric himself began to suffer from inexplicable fatigue, stomach pains, and a gradual weakening. Physicians of the era, operating with limited medical knowledge, often diagnosed these symptoms as melancholia, bad humors, or a natural decline. But whispers began. The sheer number of deaths within the same household, all exhibiting similar symptoms, started to sow seeds of doubt. Yet, without concrete evidence, these suspicions remained just that, whispers, easily dismissed in a superstitious age. As her list of victims grew, so too did Isabelle's internal turmoil. Perhaps it was a pang of conscience or a perverse desire for her genius to be recognized, even posthumously. Whatever the reason, she began to embed a silent confession within her most prized possession, her personal cookbook. This wasn't a simple diary. It was a meticulously kept ledger of recipes, passed down through generations. To alter it openly would be suicide, but to hide a truth within its pages, accessible only to the truly discerning, offered a peculiar form of immortality. How does one hide a murder confession in a cookbook? Isabelle's method was devilishly clever. She used an acrostic code, where the first letter of specific ingredients in a series of recipes, when read vertically, spelled out names and methods. More subtly, she would substitute common herbs with their toxic lookalikes, then add small, almost imperceptible annotations, a smudge, a flourish, a misplaced comma, next to certain measurements or preparation instructions, indicating a lethal increase or a specific target. For example, a recipe for sweet almond tart might include an instruction like a measure of honey plus 3 drops of the bitter leaf, where bitter leaf was her internal code for a specific toxin. Centuries later, the cookbook, now a dusty relic in a forgotten library, caught the eye of a young culinary historian named Dr. Elias Thorne. Intrigued by the unusual handwriting and archaic recipes, he began a painstaking transcription. He noticed peculiar inconsistencies, an odd emphasis on certain words, seemingly random numerical sequences, and specific recipes that seemed to call for an unusual, almost dangerous, array of ingredients. It was the kind of meticulous detail that suggested not a mistake, but an intentional, hidden design. His scholar's curiosity was piqued. As Dr. Thorne delved deeper, connecting the unusual annotations with historical records of the manor's deaths, the horrifying truth began to emerge. The 3 drops of bitter leaf in the almond tart recipe, paired with the first letter of alaric in a preceding sequence, chillingly revealed the poison and its victim. Other recipes, detailing sweet slumber herbs or digestive remedies, were actually instructions for administering lethal doses of belladonna or hemlock. The cookbook wasn't merely a collection of recipes. It was a meticulously crafted confession, a silent ledger of Lady Isabelle's dark deeds. The discovery sent shockwaves through the historical community. Lady Isabelle, once celebrated as a culinary genius, was now recognized as a cold, calculating killer. Her cookbook, a testament to her domestic prowess, transformed into a chilling artifact of premeditated murder. It offered a unique glimpse into the sophisticated, albeit macabre, intelligence of a medieval woman who navigated a patriarchal world by wielding the most unexpected of weapons. Her story serves as a stark reminder that even in the most mundane objects, history can hide its most profound and terrifying secrets. The tale of Lady Isabelle and her coded cookbook confession transcends a simple historical anecdote. It plunges us into the depths of human cunning, the chilling allure of hidden knowledge, and the enduring power of secrets finally brought to light. It reminds us that history is not just grand battles and noble kings, but also the silent struggles and cunning betrayals that unfolded in the shadows of everyday life. The next time you leaf through an ancient text or even a cherished family cookbook, remember that sometimes the most profound truths are hidden not in plain sight, but in the meticulous details, waiting for a curious mind to unlock their silent narrative. What other secrets lie waiting to be decoded?